Good morning, viewers, wherever you might be watching this. I want to welcome you to another edition of the issues, where we talk about some burning national issues. And quick one, I just want to move to an issue that I came across over the news, and which I think it's of importance for us to just discuss it, and that is uh, the National Assembly planning to regulate the non-governmental organization and also the civil liberty organization. Uh, there is a bill currently in National Assembly which has entered the second reading, and the purpose of this bill is one, the as according to what the motive and the reasons for bringing this bill is, one, that NGOs will be registered by government, will be registered by the government. Then they will be relicensed after 2 years. That is, after 2 years of register, you go back to the government again and collect form of you have to re-register again. And three, they will monitor their finances. They will look into how they get their money, how they, financial misappropriations, to control their fundings and things like that. But if we try to look at it for a try to examine what we mean by NGOs from the word non-governmental organizations, it shows that it's apparently a government. It's not an organization that has nothing to do with the government, which means that it is an organization which take up responsibilities uh, on behalf of the government. And if you and the it's and well, NGOs can either be political, can either be social, can either be environmental, can either be uh, you know you know you know environmental, or can either be climatic, or can even be on ethnic basis. But the most important thing, that a reasonable NGOs is channeled towards making the life of the citizen better. That is the reason why most of the NGOs have been created, regardless of uh, the names, the motive, or the missions. But the end point of NGOs is to make sure that the life of an average Nigerian is being touched. And many of these NGOs sometimes take up responsibilities where government has failed. We've seen NGOs currently, what we have, in a situation where we have flood all over the places, Nigeria, in the north where Boko Haram has taken over. We've seen a lot of NGOs who have risen up to the occasions by going to all these places, supply relief materials, and make sure that this people, these Nigerians, these are brothers and sisters who are in IDPs, internal displaced camp, and have what it takes to live a normal life. We see them giving them things, bed, food, and things like that. So which means NGOs take up responsibilities of the government. So when the National Assembly come up with the idea of regulating the NGOs and civil liberty organizations, although I know that there is a thinking I have in my mind that the whole essence of this bill is actually come at the civil liberty organization, because in the last 2 years we've seen civil liberty organizations come up with so many positions, force the hand of the government to actually to either to criticize their policies, or to force them to look into a certain place they are not being looked into. And you know that as African leadership mentality, leadership style, we don't like to be forced. We don't like Our leaders don't like to be dictated to. They just want to do things at their own pace. They want to do things at their own will. Because I asked myself, what business does the government have to do with the registration, the regularization of NGOs and CLOs. When we look at it, they said that the new, that the bill is going to see to re-registering NGOs, monitor the way they do their finance, and in order to check whether there is financial inappropriation. And I ask myself, we are talking about reduplication of duties here. Currently, for you as an NGO in Nigeria, for you to take off to be recognized as a full-fledged NGO, you must register under Corporate Affairs Commission Part C. 2. So which means for you to register under Corporate Affairs Commissions, I want to assume and believe that apparently you are being registered under the government, because CAC is an organization that belongs to the government. So are they saying that you registered with CAC, which is apparently a government organization, and also come up with this is duplication of duties? We shouldn't just waste our times for taking up for when we have so many things that burning issues that need quick legislations on just try to replicate issues. They talk of monitoring the NGO's financial proceedings. I want to ask, we have EFCC, Economic and Financial Crime Commission, we have ICPC, we have Financial Regulation Council, FRN, and besides, as a government listed, part of the reasons, part of in CAC, there is part of the criteria for you to renew your licenses is submit your financial proceedings, although this can be tampered with or can be modified. And that is why we have EFCC, ICPC, and Financial Regulation Council of Nigeria. So are they saying that when new agency, if this bill just go through, all these government parastatals will be scrapped, which means CAC will not register NGOs again, will be taken off CAC, then anything that has to do with financial misappropriations as touching the NGOs, which will only be looked into by these new parastatals. I think time is of the essence, and the legislation should know that Nigeria is in a deep crisis. With all hands must be on board, and I don't think coming up with this bill is just an excuse to show that National Assembly perhaps they just want to be in the front of the media, or to make us look as if they are actually working when we all know they are not working. Because I believe this bill is an attempt to cripple the already existing and articulate work being done by the NGOs. And there is this notion that people believe that NGO just received money. I don't work for the NGOs. I've never been to NGO. But the little things I know about NGO is that there is no way you can say an NGO. There is no NGO that you say that you just for Nigeria, for someone to drop any money to any NGOs, there's a due diligence and background checks, particularly if that fund is coming from an international organization. So there's a situation where some organizations will ask for your 5 years financial audit report before they can really do business, and it can take 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So if the government is saying that, the idea of people saying that people just put money into the NGO, I think we need to be fair. I believe Nigeria is in a stage where NGO need to be supported, where NGO need to be, there should be more laws to enhance NGO. We have organizations like Rotary clubs, the Lions Club, which has come up with a lot of policies to tackle a lot of diseases like sickle cells, like eradicating diabetics, cancer awareness, and so on. And I can't say of anything. I know that the eradication of polio in Nigeria was spearheaded by an international non-governmental organization with the help of NGOs in Nigeria. So are you telling me that all those fantastic ideas will be thrown into dustbin? I think the legislature should know, should look inward, because I think it's just uncalled for when you are saying that because civil liberty organizations, we know the role that civil liberty organizations played in 2015 elections. At least we know how pressures was mounted on the INEC on the issue of PVC. There are series of symposium and awareness to sensitize people on the use of CPC. Although politicians have been using some civil liberty organizations for selfish interests and egocentric tendencies. But having said that, on a larger part, we still have some organizations, some civil liberty organizations, that is still standing for what is right. Because now we are in a case where a corrupt politicians will be charged to court. Before you know it's there 24 hours, one civil liberty organization will just come up and begin to say that that prosecution is witch hunting. It happens. But we must look in the larger society. We all know, if some Nigerians know most of these civil liberty organizations, we know that they are just nothing but just a comedic, they are just they are just making noise. So even the members of the board don't take them seriously. But as I want to round up this episode, Nigerian Senate should come up with a bill that will enhance productivity of NGOs to touch each life of Nigerians, not a bill that will cripple them, not to function very well, and also to scare donors away from putting finances. This is the time we are talking that Nigeria is in crisis. Nigeria is in crisis, and in all fairness, these NGOs, to a large extent, have done fantastic, particularly, I want to say, particularly, a lot of Nigerians don't aware of some certain disease can kill very easily, until some NGOs try to took it up by virtue of their awareness. So we shouldn't just do duplication of duties. Allow these people to do their job, because the government cannot do it alone. And at this point, I think it will be a duplication of duties, because you can't tell me you are bringing in an organization that will register, an organization that will be registered under CAC, where we say we checkmate their financial proceedings, where we have EFCC, ICPC, and so what are we trying to say? So you want to say that people working in financial regulation, people working in the CAC, they will be useless. And to the point of either, let me close this episode. I'm angry. Thank you.